No matter your age, your plan for retirement can start today. From the News Channel 5 Network, this is the Retirement Report.
Good morning. Welcome to the Retirement Report. I'm Hank Parrott, your host. Got a great show on for you today. We're going to be talking about healthcare. Now, this is an area I'm going to share some headlines with you this morning from some very credible news sources. We're going to get into those stories a little bit, and then talking about what that's going to mean to you, and then share some strategies with how you can overcome some of the issues that they bring up. So, for instance, from the Wall Street Journal, the high cost of healthcare and retirement. From Forbes, don't be fooled, Obamacare will drive up unemployment and healthcare costs. From USA Today, Obamacare is a disaster. And here's another one that may shock you from CBS News, your healthcare budget in retirement, $240,000. Now, I'm not looking to make any political statements. Doesn't matter which side of the aisle you're on. Healthcare costs are going to be a big deal in retirement. A recent study by Fidelity, in fact, determined that in healthcare for someone age 65, the expectation is about $240,000 out of pocket to cover your medical costs and medical insurance. So this is for healthcare, medical expenses, and retirement, $240,000. This is the other part of it. If you're not sure about this, I mean, you can look at how things are being impacted for you currently, but also ask your friends, ask your neighbors. I know in my business, we've seen our healthcare costs go up 100%, our premiums, just in the last 3 years. You'll see the same kind of thing if you talk to people, increases of 25 and 50%. Some of these increases have come also with cancellation notices. We almost lost our insurance. We're allowed to keep it for one more year. And then at that point, we're going to have to make some changes because of the rules around the new healthcare legislation. Now, with our insurance has already gone up as much as it has. I like our insurance; it's a good plan, but we may not be able to keep it. So, again, the big picture. Recently, this study from Fidelity, which you want to keep in mind. I mean, we think of things like property taxes. Okay, if you're going to have a mortgage, hopefully that'll be paid off by the time you reach retirement. But property taxes are going to continue. Your home insurance, your car insurance, gas for the car, maintenance for the car, utilities, cell phone. What else do we have? Food, clothing, all these expenses. And now we add to that $240,000 that we need to budget for healthcare expenses. Where's that money going to come from? How can we do that? Well, we're going to share strategies this morning on just how you can, in fact, do that, how you can cover those healthcare expenses as well as all the other expenses that you're going to have in retirement when those paychecks stop coming in. How are you going to cover that each and every week, each and every month, and so on throughout your retirement lifetime to attain and maintain your standard of living and quality of life? We're going to share some things with you. And in addition to that, this week what I'm going to do is to help you as well. I'm going to give you a free offer, all right? And this is for a retirement income analysis. To get this, I'm going to have you call the number. We're going to put it up on the screen. There it is, 3765. We'll get to it. Let me get to the special offer first. Here's what you're going to be looking at. With the expenses that you have, as I just mentioned, all the expenses, maybe a telephone, cell phone, they're just some of the basics, right? There's a lot to cover when the paychecks stop coming in, so there's no such thing as winging it here. And if you think you're going to get by on a hope and a prayer, well, that's a real quick way to find yourself in a poorhouse. Having a plan is so important. To pay for all these expenses, you need an income strategy. So for the first 10 callers on the show today, we're going to create a customized retirement income strategy specific to your personal situation. You'll discover proven and successful strategies on how to turbocharge your income in retirement, learn how to protect yourself from stock market volatility, plus how to create a steady and consistent stream of income to assure you never run out of money in retirement. We're only going to do this for the first 10 callers on the show today. So if you have made a resolution to get your financial house in order for 2014, here's a great way to get started, and it doesn't cost you anything. All you have to do is call the number on your screen, 376-5325. First 10 callers, and you can get this free income analysis, okay? Now, we're going to get into sharing some strategies with you on how you can, in fact, protect yourself in retirement. You know, one of the things that comes in, and I've talked about this many times on the show, and I get into it on with my book, 7 Steps to Financial Freedom in Retirement. And by the way, I'm going to make that available to you as well. So those first 10 callers, we're going to include the book. It's got it's kind of an outline, if you will, especially the first 2 chapters on how we start with this income analysis. And I'm going to share with you how you do that, right? We've talked about it in the show before. You need to set up a foundational plan. It starts with measuring where you're at today. For instance, do you know how, as far as how much you have in checking, how much you have in bank accounts, what exactly do you have in total, rather, for assets? Retirement accounts, other investment accounts, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, all of the above, right? Those are your assets. And then, of course, the home. And then any liabilities. Do you have any debt? Do you have car loans, credit cards? Hopefully not. Mortgages, whatever it might be, those then are your liabilities. So now we've got assets and we got liabilities. That's the first 2 lists you want to make. The next are income. All right, what is your current income? And then what are your expenses? All right, now we look at current income today, what it is. Do we expect it to change much between now and retirement? And if you're in retirement, what is your income? What are you getting maybe from Social Security? Do you have a pension? Any other sources of income, maybe rental property as an example. So whatever all your sources of income are, then we look at your expenses, okay? How much does it cost each month for you to maintain your current standard of living? So whatever all those total up to, you get those 4 things, assets, liabilities, income, and expenses. When you have that measured, okay, when you know where you're starting from first and what you can anticipate in retirement, how those might change, whether they go up or down, right, that's how we start with the foundation of the plan. Then from there, we can make projections. All right, we can figure in inflation. Inflation has been referred to as, it's kind of like, you may have recalled this commercial when they talk about high blood pressure being the silent killer. Well, when it comes to the silent killer of your finances, it's inflation. It's not something you necessarily see. So for instance, what I mean by that is when you have money invested or in the bank, then those, let's say in the bank, in a CD in particular, one of the things with most safe assets, when we're talking savings, checking, CDs, savings bonds, those kind of things, is the money doesn't look like it's going anywhere, right? I mean, it's growing, not much, but it's growing a little bit every year. The problem is that the cost of the things that money is used to buy is going up faster than what the money is. So we're losing that purchasing power on those dollars. So in reality, it is in fact losing money, isn't it? Because you're going to need more and more dollars to cover those expenses, and they're not going to get there if you just keep it all in the bank or in very safe things. But that doesn't mean you don't need some in safety, and we're going to talk about how much would be an appropriate amount to have in the safe accounts, and then how much you need for a return on your investments to stay ahead of inflation and help cover those huge healthcare expenses that are coming your way. So we're going to get into that and more. Join us here. We'll be right back on the Retirement Report.